We're back, and sorry about that. The 10-minute time limit is a bitch on YouTube, and there's not really a lot of matches left on the card. So let's run through them real quick. There's another grudge match. Sting versus Jeff Jarrett. Now, if you go way back in history, we all know that Jeff Jarrett and Sting had probably one of the best rivalries, not only in the NWA, but in WCW as well. And this is really going to be one of the highlight matches of Sacrifice. And we both know, well, actually we don't both know, but in my opinion, although Jeff Jarrett and Sting probably have a few more years in their careers, this is probably going to be the last matches we see of Jeff Jarrett versus Sting. Probably going to be the last matches we see of that. Some good, old school, old-fashioned wrestling here. Sure, their styles are changed a little bit over those years, but this is probably one of the two of the greatest icons in history, wrestling history right here. And I honestly think with Sting's new mean streak and everything, Sting will win this. Doesn't matter if he uses a bat, if he uses the Scorpion Death Drop or the Scorpion Death Lock. Sting has a variety of moves he can use. Jeff Jarrett, has the stroke. Not a real life stroke, but that's the name of his finisher move. Just want to clear that out for the people that are like, Jeff Jarrett has a stroke? Why the fuck are you wrestling? Bret Hart did, so why not? He didn't have a stroke, by the way, but if Bret Hart wrestled with a real life stroke and Jeff Jarrett had a stroke, he would still wrestle. Why not? And once again, Sting will win this. And this will probably be the main event, or Sting versus Jeff Jarrett will be the main event. But in my mind, the true main event. Rob Van Dam versus AJ Styles for the TNA World Title. Now, Rob Van Dam won it on an Impact, Monday Night Impact. Now, TNA's on Thursday nights, so this is probably one of the last world title changes for Monday Night TNA history. But, which I'm really pissed off by that, by the way. TNA go match to Thursdays. Although it's better because it's basically WWE Superstars versus TNA Impact, which will give them a lot more ratings. It kind of fucks them over because I thought they're going to win the Monday Night Wars. And I thought they'd stay on Mondays a little longer. But I guess not. Anyway, AJ Styles versus Rob Van Dam. This is probably a dream match many people have wanted for years long ago. And we're probably going to see that rematch. We're going to see that rematch live on pay-per-view. Now, I do not know if AJ Styles will have Ric Flair in his corner. As, the last couple weeks, Ric Flair's been banned from ringside. We'll see how that comes into play. But, Ric Flair or not, AJ Styles and Rob Van Dam are probably one of the best high-flying people. Two of the best high-flying people, two of the best technical wrestlers when they want to be. And plus, unpredictability. Not just because Rob Van Dam's basically the Gumby of professional wrestling, but because you never know what's going to happen. And Rob Van Dam can probably be the only man that says this, but he is the only man to hold the WWE Championship and the ECW Championship at the same time. And that's a good accomplishment, although he lost them both in the same week, which is kind of ironic. But he is the only ECW original, I think only ECW original, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think he's the only ECW original to hold the TNA World Championship. And, well, no, because in a way, Raven held the NWA World title, and that was a part of TNA probably a few years ago. But, technically, Rob Van Dam held the TNA World title, not the NWA title. So, yes, Raven did hold the NWA Heavyweight Championship in TNA. But Rob Van Dam held the TNA World title at TNA. And that's probably it's a big difference because the NWA title is a very prestigious title. And I'm not taking anything away from Raven. but Rob Van Dam is probably the only ECW original that has held the TNA World Title and not the NWA World Title. There is a big, big difference if you don't understand. NWA title, one of the most prestigious and biggest world titles of all in professional wrestling history. And if you held the NWA World Title, you know if you made it. Because people like Ric Flair, Harley Race, Jeff Jarrett held it, Dusty Rhodes, I think Steamboat, I'm not sure, I think it was Steamboat, and just many other people. Like the Funks, the who died recently? Who was it? It was the Briscoes. Yeah, one of the Briscoes died. The Briscoes have held it. The Funks have held it. Basically, anybody in wrestling's past has held that championship and make it one of the most prestigious and honorable championships of all time, the NWA World Heavyweight Title. Now, we know TNA will not bring it back, which sucks. But Rob Van Dam is the only ECW original that has held the TNA World Title. On the other hand, Raven is the only ECW original, to my knowledge, that has held the NWA World Title. And they are totally different. If you do not understand that, you are an idiot. Now back to this match. I'm sorry I had the rant there, but goddamn. Yes, Rob Van Dam is the only ECW original that has held the TNA World Title. But AJ Styles is a former world champion, also a holder of the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and a holder of the TNA World Title. Now, I honestly think this is going to be a great match. And hopefully, after this rematch, TNA will tell us who the top 10 ranked people, contenders, people, whatever, are. But I honestly think, in my mind, Rob Van Dam will retain his world title and beat AJ Styles. We are done with that, thank God. Now, I honestly believe that after Sacrifice, TNA will announce the top 10 ranked people, contenders, people, whatever. The top 10 contenders for the TNA World Title. If you have not seen TNA, the website, they have a poll for who do you think will be the top 10 contenders, or who do you want. TNA is really being good about this. TNA is really letting the fans involved, the people involved, everybody involved. Hell, I even voted. Now, I'm guessing, depending on the percent-wise of what happens through this poll, will make up the top 10 contenders. And it'll be very... And here's only one flaw, in my opinion, of this. I checked yesterday, and a lot of people had 6%. Probably 4 or 5 people had 6%. 2 had 4%. It's probably changed by now, but... how will they do the contender issue? If a poll vote is tied, like, for example... 4 people have 6% of the vote. Who will get the contender spot? They'll probably do a battle royal for it or something. But that's probably a big flaw in TNA's poll. Because, of course, the fans will be involved. Of course, the fans will tell you who they want to be the top contenders. But, in a way, if, like, 4 people have, like, 6% of the vote, and, like, maybe 3 people have 4% of the vote, and, like, you know, it could go either way. Like, people had 9% of the vote, 20% of the vote. How are they going to do this? Well, I mean, we'll see what happens in the future, but this is probably one of the biggest flaws in this. Although I approve of this, I agree with this, you know, it just concerns me. Anyway, that was your Sacrifice predictions, and we'll come back for the review after the pay-per-view. See ya.